Let's do a little kombucha check. So this is the kombucha tea that we've been making. This is about day 5 or 6. Look at that. We can see it's got some nice growth on the top. I can see that Scoby. I'm going to take a straw and just test it. So we go underneath the Scoby, take a little drink. Ooh, that is good. Not quite where I want it to get, so I'm going to let it go for a couple more days. I'm saving up my kombucha bottles here because for the second fermentation, because I do like to have some fizzy. Then I will make another Scoby in this video. I'm going to show you how to make your own Scoby from start to finish. So we are going to start a Scoby because I have a Scoby here that I'm going to keep making more tea. But I also want to make some coffee kombucha. I thought that would be fun. So we will make that soon. Hi friends, so let's make a Scoby from scratch. The reason why we want to do this is because we can save a lot of money. If you like drinking kombucha, these are a couple different kinds of kombucha that I have bought. This one costs about $4 a bottle. This one close to $3 a bottle. You can really save a lot of money making your own kombucha. I have some kombucha fermenting right here that I made out of my own peppermint herbs. So I did purchase a Scoby, but we are going to make our own Scoby so I can try to make some coffee kombucha and some more tea kombucha. So the first thing I'm going to do, I have my hot water boiling right here, and I am going to put in 4 to 6 tea bags. I'm using green tea. You can use black tea. You can also use loose leaf tea. And I am going to put this in about a half-gallon jug here. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to fill this up with my boiling water. You can also boil the tea over a stovetop if you do not have a tea kettle. And then I am just going to steep this for about 10 minutes. After that, I'm going to take the tea bags out, and then I am going to let this tea sit for like a good 3-4 hours and come to a complete cool down. You can also stick it in an ice bath if you just don't want to wait. So that is going to be number 1. We will come back to that. If you want to do method 1 and you want to just take some kombucha, you can open your kombucha and you want to make a whole bunch of these, maybe give to friends. You can just put a little bit in small jars and you can cover them with a towel or a filter, put a binder over them. Let these sit for about 5 days and you'll get a little Scoby on the top. So that is a very simple way to get a Scoby. I prefer this method because I want to have a hotel for my Scobies, and I will show you, I will come back in a little bit when we are ready to process this, and I will show you how we finish this. All right, so let's get our Scoby started here. So this is my tea that is now completely cooled down. And to that, I am going to add a 1/2 cup of granulated organic sugar. So the sugar is going to get eaten up by all the good bacteria. I am just going to pour that right in there. And let me get a non-metal spoon. Could have put the sugar in when it was still hot. That would have been just fine, but I'll just mix this up pretty good. What I normally would do is just put a cup of my kombucha in here as well. But when I bought my Scoby, it came in housed in some really good mother bacteria already. So good that there's already a little tiny baby Scoby growing in there. So I'm going to take 1/2 of this and then 1/2 cup of my kombucha. And that's what I'm going to use for my starter. Now, why I'm doing this in a jar is because I'm going to use this liquid as my Scoby Hotel, which when my tea is done, my tea Scoby's all in here. So I hear when we make coffee kombucha, the coffee Scobies have to be kept differently. So if you look in here, you can see, let's see if you can see, a little Scoby already starting to form in there. Oh, that Scoby came out. Let me see if I can get that Scoby out of here. Look at this nice little Scoby right back in that one. And let that continue to form. And then I'm going to put a half a cup of my kombucha in here as well. All right. And then I am just going to cover this with a coffee filter and a binder. And after a couple days, we will check it. I'm going to still let this Scoby form in here. This will be a nice one. When this one gets bigger, I will add it to our Scoby hotel. So that is why I just left this one right here. Super excited. All our little Scobies. We are going to have such kombucha going here. Coffee kombucha, tea kombucha. We will watch this process. We'll have this one starting from fresh. This one's getting a little bit bigger. And then we have our kombucha here with our Scoby in it that we tasted, and it's on day 5. We're going to let it go for about another 2 or 3 days, and then we will do our second fermenting for this in our kombucha bottles and add some flavors to it. All right, we'll see you in a bit. Hi friends, welcome to my humble homestead and garden side chat. So today I am going to do my second fermentation with my kombucha tea that I made. So the first thing I'm doing is make some flavored kombucha, and I'm using my bottles, my kombucha bottles that I use, because I know that if these carbonate, they're not going to explode. They're nice and thick. These are bottles that I've already used for kombucha, so I know that they can take the carbonation in them. You can also purchase carbonated bottles. I know if you're familiar with, like, say, beer or champagne making, you can get those kinds of bottles at like alcohol stores or whatever, but I just recycle mine is what I do, and I just make sure that the lids are nice and tight so they can carbonate to have a nice carbonated drink. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take, for my added sugars, I'm going to take some fruit, and I'm going to use this as the flavor and as the extra sugar to do the second fermentation. So what I did is I chopped up a mango, and then I'm going to use my zucchini pineapple to make a mango pineapple. So I'm going to do just the mango pineapple, and then what I'm going to do for the rest of them is I'm going to add some of my zucchini peach in here and make mango peach pineapple. You can kind of play around with your combinations, do whatever you want. If you want to do herbs, I used some mint in my tea. I used green tea and then the mint. So I'm not going to add any more mint to it, but you can use different herbs, different flavors, ginger, things like that. There's a whole list that you can do. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to mix this up. So now we will have our fruit mixture here. Then the next thing is, with clean hands, I'm going to bring you down here. I'm going to take my Scoby out of here. So here's my Scoby, and I am going to put, now I have a little Scoby that's grown in this jar. This one, if you see, I have my video that I'm showing you how to do a Scoby. This one has just a little tiny one on the bottom, and I'm going to just stick this one in here right now to house it, because the other one that I'm growing another Scoby in, that will be my Scoby hotel here, is not quite ready to put those in. So I'm just going to keep that in there for now. I'm going to mix this up so the extra yeast that's in here kind of gets mixed up in here. And then I'm going to fill up my bottle just about a quarter of the way with the fruit mixture. 2 of these with just the pineapple and mango. And then the rest of the way I'm going to fill it up with my kombucha mixture. I'm going to try a little bit here. Oh yeah. I definitely taste the fermenting in there. And so you want to leave just a little bit at the top for the fizz room. And this already has a little fizz in there. I don't know if you can see it through the bottle, but it already has some fizz in there. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take my lid and I'm going to put it on here really tight. There we go. And then I'm just going to let this sit for about 3 to 4 days. And then I will have my flavored kombucha. So I'm going to do one more of this flavor, and then I'm going to add some of the peach to it, and then make the rest with the mango peach pineapple. Oh, and the one thing that I did forget to mention is that we do want to save out 2 cups of our kombucha for our starter for our next kombucha that we're going to use. So I'm going to set this aside so I can start my next batch of kombucha. So we always have one going. I am going to try to make a coffee kombucha, and we're going to see how that goes. Here I have my mixture that has the peach, pineapple, and mango in it. I also would like to try some in my next batch with some frozen berries. You can use whatever you want. You just want to make sure if you're just using plain fruit that you add a little bit of extra sugar in this. I did have some sugar in it because it was a pie filling. And if you're concerned about the sugar level, just remember that the yeast in the kombucha is going to eat away most of that sugar. So you don't have to be so concerned that it's going to be full of sugar in here, because you know I keep my sugar level down as well. So let's try this one out here. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it, but it's usually about 1/4 to 1/3 cup of the fruit into the bottles. Okay, so these I just added my fruit in there. I'm wiped off the lids, and then I'm just sealing them up as tight as I can. If you have a rubber grip too, you can do that, and just make sure they're extra sealed up. What is advised to do is to let them sit either in like a dark, like under my cupboard is where I'm going to put them here, or on the counter for 3 to 4 days. So what I'm going to do is after 3 days, I'm going to actually put it in my refrigerator, and then I'm going to let it cool down for a day. And then I'm going to try it, and because in the fridge, it kind of slows down the fermentation process. And I'm going to take a taste and see if it's at the carbonated level that I like. If it is, then I'll just leave them all in there and drink them as I wish. If it is not, then I'll take it out and I'll let it sit out another day or 2. Do it. It's best to have them cold when you open them, because, you know, if it does kind of minimize any messes and stuff. So that is how we do our second fermenting for our kombucha and flavor it. Welcome back, friends. Okay, so it has been 5 days since we made this kombucha together. We did the second fermenting. This is my peach mango pineapple that we made. So I've taken it out of the fridge. I'm going to see how carbonated it is. We're going to try it together. All right. I like it different degrees of carbonated, so I'm fine either way, but let's open it up. Oop, I heard some carbonation in there. So let's try it now. Neighbors are going by on go-karts and stuff, so I was wondering what that noise is. Okay, let's try it. Okay, it's a hint of pineapple. It's like not overbearing with pineapple. Oh, that's so good. I don't get a lot of the mango. I wish there was a little bit more mango in there, but I do taste the peach and the pineapple. It is really good. Oh my goodness, you guys. So when I buy these bottles in the store, they're like $4 a bottle. I just made a half gallon of this for like next to nothing, just some tea bags. I really recommend that you make this at home. It's so good for you. It's full of probiotics. It's super easy. And when I'm up to it next, I'm going to try to make some coffee one. I'm a little mixed on how the coffee one's going to taste, because I like coffee and I like kombucha, but I'm not sure if I'll want my coffee kombucha, if that makes sense. But this is amazing. Be blessed. Have a great day. Cheers.